Is all prepared then? Excellent. Then it is time for our friend to be invited to the shack. Go fetch him for me, would you? And be gentle, I would not have him damaged, if it can be avoided. I'll join you at the shack shortly. I have a few last things to prepare in the sanctuary.
What is the music of life?
Silence, my brother. "19 Sun's Height, 4th Era, 202. I woke to the sounds of the coffin being dragged. 2 voices, one giving directions and the other complaining about the first one not really helping. I felt a measure of relief I had not expected to, for Nazir had followed me through and was dragging the coffin upright again to free me, and Babette had somehow survived as well. That left only one member unaccounted for. As though thinking about her had conjured the Night Mother's directions, I was told that Astrid was still somewhere in the sanctuary. I needed to find her. I needed to end her. The door opened. And though Nazir tried to get me to slow down, I wasted no time. I was stumbling, and I was hurt, but nothing would stop me from finding that little minx of a betrayer and settling accounts. It was good that this was the Night Mother's wish, because her wish or not, I was going to do it. Not that I had ever spent much time in Astrid's bedroom, but the one time I'd been there, I'd not noticed an alcove in the back. I noticed it now. It was hard not to, with all the candles and Astrid's form laid out in the center. When she saw me, I heard her sigh of relief. I knelt by her side, and she revealed it all. I had been right. She had betrayed us all. Only now, when it was all over, did she truly understand what it was she had done. Why she had done it. Maybe she truly does understand, but that does not change what she did, and this she knew as well. She had made herself into the Black Sacrament to ensure that I would find her, from her actions to the Night Mother to my ears. She had drawn me here to give me one final contract. To kill Astrid. With Nazir and Babette watching, I said nothing. I nodded only. Vengeance would be ours, but not in killing her. No. We would get our satisfaction through the knowledge that the dread father would be waiting for her in the void, and the things he would do would make anything we could pale in comparison. At the very last, Astrid understood this and accepted it. And so, rather than break my own rules about torture, I gave her the only forgiveness that I could. I made her death quick. Astrid, former matron of the Falkreath Sanctuary of the Dark Brotherhood, betrayer and oathbreaker, is dead. Hail, Sithis! I returned to the Night Mother to hear her words. Perhaps there is still hope for Astrid, as the Night Mother indicated her own hope for Astrid's redemption in the Void. Personally, though, I'm not counting on it. Not anytime soon, certainly. The Brotherhood is gravely wounded, but we are not dead. So long as there is a listener, we will never be down and out. The contract against the Emperor must be fulfilled. It will take some time and some recovery, but we will do as we are commissioned to. I sent Nazir and Babette on to the Dawnstar Sanctuary, gave them the passphrase and the warning that Cicero was still alive and well there. They will take the Night Mother there, where Cicero can ensure that the Mother has not had too much damage done to her. In the meantime, I have my own orders as well. Armand Motier is still in Skyrim at the Bannered Mare in Whiterun. He will know the location of the real Emperor, and then we can get this contract back in order. Once that is done, then we rebuild the Brotherhood of old, using the old ways that have guided us for centuries. As it should be. When I approached Armand Motier, I did so without having cleaned up, washed up, or even bandaged any of my wounds. I wanted him to see the condition I was in, to have him thinking about that as we conversed. The town criers were already shouting out their news of the end of the Dark Brotherhood. When, contrary to that news, he saw me... Well, to say he was terrified would be an understatement. 3 questions, 3 answers, and I was gone. The Emperor is aboard his ship, the Kataraya, currently anchored in the middle of the bay at Solitude. We will complete the contract, as agreed, because that is who the Brotherhood is. The soul is owed to Sithis. It shall be given. Commander Morrow is overseeing security on the docks. He will die as well, knowing it was me who ended his life. This is a personal kill. But given his offenses against my brothers and sisters, I am certain that the Dread Father will accept his soul as a proper offering. The only way to get aboard will be to swim. Fortunately, that will not be a problem, and in a way, will make things easier. Though the Emperor will still have his elite bodyguards aboard, that will not help them. There will be nowhere for them to hide from the wrath of Sithis. The secret of the Brotherhood's survival will be out soon, and at the moment, nobody will believe it. No one will want to. I've learned, though, that secrets will always get out eventually and can harm those that kept them. Secrets have long been the stock in trade of both the Brotherhood and the Morag Tong, so it should be no surprise that I learned this serving their mistress, Mafala. Let the people of the province tremble for a few days, wondering which truth is the correct one. Then let them tremble, knowing that the Brotherhood still lives. I took some time in Breezehome to clean myself up, make myself ready. I left Whiterun just after midday and arrived in Solitude just before dusk, having pushed Shadowmere one last time to his greatest speeds yet. I found a place on the docks where I could watch Commander Morrow enjoy the last piece he would have in this life. He seemed relaxed, carefree. And why not? He had killed the assassin who had dared strike at an emperor, and destroyed the Dark Brotherhood in a single afternoon, had he not? He should be feeling relaxed and unworried. Fortunately for me, he was wrong on both counts. Had he been a follower of Lord Sheogorath, he would not have been so quietly content. What cannot be predicted cannot be prevented. The Brotherhood is dead, after all. Why should he plan to be attacked by them again? I waited for sundown. I was there on the docks the day that Commander Morrow was killed. Oh, not as my Brotherhood self, I should clarify, but as myself, as Thane Moriden Athluan. When the arrow came out of the shadows and took Morrow in the gut, I was one of the first to arrive to try to render assistance. He even recognized me, though we had never met. He thought himself in good hands. Others went to get him aid while I sat with him. And when we were alone, just as the sun slipped below the horizon, I looked down at him and gave a sad smile. I told him he had been wrong. When he asked what I was talking about, I conjured my dagger and placed its tip at the armhole to his armor. The Brotherhood will never die. Hail, Sithis. There, just at the end, he understood. He realized that Thane Moriden Athluan and the Dunmeri assassin his men had killed were the same person. And then he thought nothing at all anymore. When aid arrived, I sadly announced that Commander Morrow had perished, then got out of the way. I did, after all, have one more appointment tonight. Commander Morrow, commanding officer of the Penitus Oculatus, is dead. Hail, Sithis. I had not been idle waiting for sundown. I had gone to every single lifeboat, longboat, and rowboat that I could, putting holes in them to ensure that they could not be used to follow me to the Kataraya. With Morrow dead, it would be only a short time before someone thought to report that to the ship and the Emperor. I would not have my visit with him interrupted. With the stars of the shadow looking down upon me, which I took as an auspicious sign, I took to the cold waters of the bay and swam to the Emperor's ship, where a slaughter would begin. My intention is for those who get to the ship tomorrow to find it filled only with blood, death, and ghosts. I will be long gone, but I will be leaving behind a small clue for them. 20 Suns Height, 4th Era, 202. As many as I just killed to clear the ship entirely of bodyguards and sailors, there were not enough. I do not mean that I could have killed more to satisfy my vengeance in the contract, though this was also true. No, I mean that there simply were not enough bodyguards on the ship. There should have been more, even accounting for the belief that the Brotherhood was destroyed. When I stepped into the Emperor's quarters, I began to understand what was happening. Everything began to fall into place. He greeted me cordially as a long-expected and welcome guest, calling Commander Morrow fool in the process. I told him you could never truly stop the Brotherhood. Never could. Yes, he knew I was coming, and had already long since come to terms with the fact that he would die and that it would be at my hands. That is a decided change from the normal chain of events, as he made a last request that I accept the payment promised me and then kill the man who had contracted his death. Something about the way he said it caught my ear. This was not the request of a man about to die and begging for some revenge. This was more like he was tying up a loose end, getting rid of a weakness in a plan. Not that I had time to think on it. He turned his back on me, inviting me to make the kill. Why is he being so blasé about this, so accepting? This is not how an assassination is supposed to go. It's almost like when I killed Astrid, as if he had put the contract on himself. My mind raced. Could that be possible? Could Armand have been a dupe? Someone the Emperor planted the idea in the mind of and used? If so, then why? The answer was almost immediately obvious. The Great War had ended with this man signing the White Gold Concordat, a document that brought peace to the Empire but at the cost of his people's trust. Nothing he has done since, not matter how well calculated, had been looked on favorably. Even if he tried to restart the war, nobody would give him any credit. But if, instead, he were assassinated, if that murder could be tied back to the Dominion, a new war. One where Titus Mede is the martyr that started it all. A rallying flag. He may still have been thought of as a fool, but he would be the Empire's fool, and you don't kill a nation's emperor without there being dire and severe consequences. When I killed him, I would be correcting an error from over a decade ago. And suddenly Ithelia's voice rang through my mind again. The dragon god had given up what he loves to ensure that what must be comes to pass. Akatosh had given me up to Sithis to ensure that I would kill the Emperor, thus leading to another war with the Dominion and the restoration of the full Tamrielic Empire. My jaw dropped. And then, before I could think more on it, I sank my teeth into the Emperor's neck and drained him dry. The Emperor of Tamriel, Titus Mede II, is dead. Hail, Sithis. The Bannered Mare was already abuzz with the news when I got there mid-morning. It was shock that I felt in the room, and anger. The Emperor, their Emperor, was dead at unknown hands. Though nobody was yet brave enough to say what they were thinking, you could feel their belief in the air. The Aldmeri Dominion. I smiled to myself as I let myself into Armand Mortier's rooms. I came, though, not as the Brotherhood assassin that he had been dealing with, but as myself. My face clear and unobstructed. I'm sure if he'd thought about that, he would have realized what that meant for him, personally. But he was too overjoyed about the news that his mission had been completed. The money he had promised was in an urn in the very room where we had begun. Volenrud. Once he told me that, there was only one more piece of business to discuss. The Emperor had made his request, as one would ask for a loose end to be tied off. And thus I treated Armand. I wonder, back months or maybe years ago when this all began, did he ever imagine that his own life would also be forfeit when it was over? He certainly showed no signs of knowing that his own death was impending. On the other hand, would you inform the dupe of his disposable status? No. No, I rather think not. Still, if I am right about what I think has happened here, well, then his death will still serve the Empire, just as he claimed my killing of the Emperor had. Turnabout, it seems, is still fair play. I waited for him to turn away, then planted a dagger in his chest. Next to the body, I left a small card. Not long ago, I'd been told that the Brotherhood was coming for me with a simple note, a handprint, and the words, "We know." Today, I reveal to the world that the Brotherhood is not destroyed, with another simple message. A handprint, and the words, "We live." Armand Motier, member of Emperor Titus Mede II's Elder Council, is dead. Hail Sithis. What is the worth of a man's life? Apparently the going rate, at least for a man who was an emperor, is 20,000 septums. Money that the Brotherhood will desperately need. The contract is done, and our survival announced, but we are still in a very precarious position. Only 4 of us alive. A Dunmeri vampire as the Night Mother's listener, a Redguard cutthroat with a penchant for puns, a 300-year-old vampire stuck in the body of a 10-year-old girl, and a sad, insane jester to be the Night Mother's keeper. Not exactly confidence-inspiring. The next step is to make it work, regardless of the meager state we are in. That means heading for Dawnstar and getting the sanctuary livable first. Once that's done, we need to recruit, and do so carefully. To re-establish the Black Hand, the original government, if you will, of the Brotherhood. No, the work is not done. We've barely begun. No end to the work. There was a version of joy when I returned to the Dawnstar Sanctuary and reported the death of the Emperor and the payment of accounts due. Babette is still in shock, surprising for a 300-year-old 10-year-old, and she's as much as admitted she's just following Nazir's lead for the moment. Nazir, though? I didn't think the man would know a joyful emotion if it slapped him across the face. Now we have time. Time to rebuild, recruit, get our feet back under us. The Night Mother has been moved here, so technically we have everything we need to begin anew. Nazir will begin working on recruitment. On his recommendation, though, I'll be pulling in an expert to help us with the sanctuary. There's really only one person that we can trust for this. Delvin Mallory. Oh, Sithis. I just realized. We don't even get to have the money from selling Motier's Elder Council necklace. That letter of credit was for Astrid only. And I doubt Delvin's going to allow us to transfer it to the new management. Well, at least there's no direct tie between any of us and that piece of evidence, I suppose. Still, that kind of money would have been quite useful. Well, I suppose I can just take everything in my treasury and dump it into the Brotherhood. We'll have to think about that. I was on my way out the door when the mother called to me. I approached the coffin and she gave me the information I needed for our next contract. Already. Word is either out already about what I did to Motier this morning, or people just aren't believing the rumors of our demise. After I heard the details from Mother, I also have a third theory. This is the most elaborate trap of all time. I am to go to the headquarters of the Penitus Oculatus, find the corrupt agent, and take his contract. I blinked hard at that one, going into the lair of the very group that almost destroyed us not even 2 days ago. And then, from all the agents they have, finding the one agent among them who is corrupt enough to contact us seems less than intelligent. Perhaps the Mother and the Dread Father are just testing our commitment. On the first day. After we just barely survived. As you wish, Mother. So shall I do. 21 Sun's Height, 4th Era, 202. I gave Delvin the courtesy of allowing him to sleep uninterrupted through the night. When I walked in the next morning, once again in full Brotherhood mode, meaning he didn't realize he was talking to his own guildmaster as well, I took a strictly business approach. The first thing to clear up was the status of the Brotherhood. We were hurt, but not destroyed. His eyes fell when I told him Astrid had not survived the Aculatus's attack. And he quickly confirmed I was correct. The letter of credit he'd given me last time was now null and void. Unfortunate, but not unexpected. What he could do was take the Emperor's blood money and turn it into the renovations and such that we needed for the sanctuary. That in turn created another small problem. It wasn't like he was going to do the work personally. Instead, the 4 workers he'll have do the work will also be the sanctuary's first, guests. Another time for that. He would need time to make it all work, of course, but he'll be good for it. He'd better be, anyhow. That means it's time for me to go into the dragon's den, so to speak. I am so not looking forward to walking into the Aculatus's headquarters building. As the Thane of Hafengar Hold, I decided to make a visit to the Penitus Oculatus. Most soldiers hate visits from people like me. They think of it more as some kind of way to get their names thought of well by the rank and file, a way to grow their own image. In my case, though, they seem to make an exception. Legate Athluan is a seasoned veteran of the Civil War, the Mer who helped the Empire bring the rebel Ulfric Stormcloak to justice, after all, and did it by crawling his way through the ranks. I turned my visit into a detailed inspection, praising the good work I was seeing and critiquing things that seemed somewhat off. They definitely appreciated the former more than the latter, but I was being fair. No reason I can't be a good influence every so often. The man I needed to speak to was obvious to me somehow. No aura, no glow, I just simply knew. When I pulled him aside for a quick conversation, I did not reveal myself. I simply told him that I'd seen someone earlier that looked like he might be skulking about, and that he might want to look into it. He found me behind the building about an hour later in full Brotherhood mode. The target is a hunter outside of Falkreath, one who had, it seems, accidentally shot him with an arrow a month or so back. The money changed hands, and I left to hunt the hunter. The contract was nothing much to speak of. The hunter in question was not particularly skilled from what I could see, and when I had been told that he was right outside of Falkreath, that was the almost literal truth. He couldn't have been more than a stone's throw, perhaps 2 from the west side entrance to the city. I even saw him put a few arrows into flight at a passing deer, with no success at all. The trees about 30 feet to the right of the target, though, felt the full wrath of those arrows. Such carelessness, such lack of skill, should not go unrewarded. A careless hunter is dead. Hail Sithis. The priority for the repairs had been placed on a new entrance. Perhaps not as secure as the Black Door, but it would prevent me or any other member of the Brotherhood coming and going through the city of Dawnstar at all hours. Eventually, especially when our numbers began to grow, that would be noticed. But that will be in a time in the near-distant future, with any luck. Delvin will complete the work he has been tasked with. For me, well, I have my own work to do now. Maybe I have fulfilled the fate that was bought and paid for. Perhaps there is yet more that Sithis would have of me. I no longer know. I no longer care. I have been led to this end, the listener of the Dark Brotherhood, and I find that it is a calling that I could have been born to. My bow and my wits, these are all that I need to survive in this world. I trust no one, not even my new brothers and sisters, because time and again it has been proven that no one is worth trusting. Trust is the sound you hear just before the dagger slides home. A lonely life, perhaps, but one that I can live with. For now. Epilogue. There it is, my friend. The entire tale. Every detail. Every moment. As close to the reality of it as I can remember. I am no saint. I make no claim to even being a decent person. I am the product of betrayal, fate, madness, and everything that the province of Skyrim could throw at me. I have served Aedra and Daedra. I have saved the world. I have turned into the scourge of the world. Master of magic. Lord of the vampires. Guild master twice over. If there is a thing to have been a part of in the past 200 years in Skyrim, I can promise you, I was a part of it. Somehow. Somewhere. Now, to business. I did not tell you my tale to entertain myself, nor will I waste time by telling it to you before I kill you. Yes, I have revealed my secrets. Not all of them, but many. The historians are going to have a bit of a fit when much of this gets out. I'll promise you this much. When they inevitably try to take out a Brotherhood contract against you, they will not be accepted. You are safe from me and my brothers and sisters. There is, of course, a catch. When I untie you, when you leave, you will find my journals in your horse's saddlebags. They contain everything I have told you these last months. Use them to create the biography. Use them to silence those who have no idea what they speak of. Do this, and you will never need fear me. Alter it, however, well, let's not dwell on that, shall we? Do this right, and I can promise you that we will speak again. This is but a portion of what I have been a part of. Until that day, however, I will be watching. Biographer's note. At last I can speak with my own voice, and not the words of the mortal terror that is Moriden Athluan. I assure you, everything you have read, everything that my volumes contain, is as close to the truth as may exist. The details he gives, the knowledge he has of events, they all match up too well to what we know of that era for it to be pure fantasy. What I have written will most certainly anger many in the Empire. I dare not even use my own name now, for fear of what others who object to what these pages contain might do to me. I trust his word that the Brotherhood will never take a contract on me. But there are men other than the Brotherhood who will trade my blood for money. To the final words he bade me write, I add this warning. Do not seek him out. Do not try to find him. Everyone who has gone looking, save myself, have never been seen again alive. The dark hero of the Fourth Era is not to be trifled with. Signed, by my hand, on this 27th day of First Seed, in the 179th year of the Fifth Era, Moriden's Biographer.